Hi guys, it's good to see you again. How are you guys doing today?
I'm good.
Fine.
Well, I'm glad to hear you guys are doing okay. I kind of wanted to go back to our last session when we talked about goals and kind of restate those. So we talked about lowering your anxiety between each other and the anxiety you guys are feeling from fighting. And we talked about doing that by increasing differentiation, which is where we focus on not just reacting with emotions, but taking that time to really think about how we want to react, what we want to say. We also talked about kind of addressing our family of origin and how our past relationships with family members influence our relationships now. And then finally, by talking about maybe some triangulation we're having with other family members, but instead of talking with each other, we talk with a third party to kind of feel better. So we're going to kind of dive into that today. Does that sound good with you guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me start with Sammy. Sammy, why don't you tell me about what your experience has been this week?
I feel like I'm kind of giving up a little bit. Like we can't talk. He is just so like angry and hostile when we try to communicate, and he's mean. So then I just don't say anything because I don't want to have an argument, especially when he's yelling.
That sounds really frustrating. It sounds like maybe you're just kind of shutting down right now because you want to avoid those fights. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And Frank, when you see that Sammy's shutting down, how does that make you, like, what does that make you think about? How do you react?
I mean, it just reminds me of what I did when I was getting yelled at by my dad, but I'm fine. So I don't understand why she keeps shutting down on me. And then she goes to her mom all the time. It's just annoying.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe you're feeling frustrated with her talking to her mom instead of talking with you. Is that true?
Yeah, because then her mom looks at me like I'm a piece of crap, and then my relationship with her mom suffers from it. And my mom, I mean, she died when I was 10, so she's the only mom that I know.
Okay. Sammy, so when you hear that Frank is frustrated with you talking to your mom rather than him, how do you think that's contributing to the problems you guys are experiencing?
I mean, I didn't know that it really bothered him, but at the same time, like, it's hard to talk to him because he starts yelling and gets so mad. But when I talk to my mom, like, she doesn't do that. She listens to what I have to say.
I hear you. Okay. So you're really looking for to be heard rather than to be talked at. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Frank, can we go back to when you said that your dad yelled at you a lot when you were a kid? What was that experience like for you?
I mean, he always made me, I mean, he never listened to me, and I get where she's coming from, but it's the only thing I know. Like, that's how my dad treated me, and he treated my mom, and that's what I grew up watching, and I don't know anything else. I don't know how else to act. I mean, it worked for them until she, passed away with cancer, and it made him even more angrier and made me angry. Just, yeah, I don't know what else to say.
I think you explained yourself well there. It's definitely, so that's what we call family of origin. So our relationships with our past, like with family members and friends, it also comes into our current relationships. So what I'm hearing with how your dad treated you and being yelled at and you shutting down is now coming to your future relationship and is causing another problem in your family unit. So, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I guess.
And so how do you think, like, reacting like that? So when you guys are having an argument and you're yelling at her, how do you think that contributes to the problem?
I mean, I know she probably is not listening to me because she just ignores me and then goes calls her mom and cries to her about every little thing that I do. It's just, she's not listening to me and she doesn't get what I'm saying. And so it frustrates me. So I get angry and angry because she's just not listening. And then she runs away from me and goes calls her mom. And then it gets blown out of proportion. And if she just listened to what I was saying in the beginning, we could have solved it.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is kind of this cycle of frustration and anger. So when she reaches out and shuts down on you, but reaches out to someone else, that anger keeps building, correct?
Yeah, because then she's telling her mom stuff, but yet she's not telling me anything. And how am I supposed to know how she's feeling? She don't talk to me.
Okay. So I think something that could be very beneficial here is taking I positions. So rather than, talking at someone and coming straight at them with your raw emotion, if we take that couple of seconds to kind of realize exactly what we're feeling and what we're actually thinking, that I position statement could help you to say, rather than I'm angry at you, say I feel frustrated or it concerns me when you, that way, rather than us attacking someone else, we're really getting our point across in a passive way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we try making one right now where you describe how you feel when she reaches out to her mom?
I feel when you reach out to your mom like crap because you tell her everything, but yet you're not telling me what you are just telling her, and then I have to hear it secondhand about how you're feeling, and then she comes at me upset with me, and my relationship with your mom is tarnished now, and I don't know how to repair that either.
That's a lot. Sammy, what's your reaction?
I mean, I understand what he's saying, and I definitely, like, it's easier to understand when he uses the I statements instead of just responding with anger. And I don't want to have, like, my mom be like like a barrier in our relationship or something that is hurting it. So I would like to be able to talk to him when we have problems.
I think that's a great goal. So what I'm hearing is Sammy is responding well to the I position statements that Frank uses. So maybe this week, if an argument comes up, we would focus on Frank using I statements, and Sammy, feel free to use them too, and really trying to control our rational thinking and not respond with just emotion. And then also trying to increase the discussion between you two and move away from talking with your mom entirely about it. Of course, it's still good to keep that family connection, but focus on that discussion between you guys, not just arguing. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do that, and then we'll come back next session and talk about how that went, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Great job, guys. Have a good night.
You too.